Good morning. I'm thankful for the opportunity to share my story today because this caused me to reflect on God's work in my life in the past 3.5 years. Like many of you, I was drawn to Gordon-Conwell for its commitment to Scripture and its respect for diverse Christian traditions. Gordon-Conwell encourages students to wrestle with truth, to ask the hard questions. So I knew that seminary would be challenging, not just academically, but spiritually. I did not know anyone in Charlotte before I moved here. So this introvert quickly found that seminary could bring both soul-enriching wisdom and soul-draining loneliness. I met some great friends, but it took time to build closeness. Meanwhile, perfectionism and stress overwhelmed me, and that stress made me physically sick. So that first year was really rough. In time, though, I found my home in the Gordon-Conwell and Charlotte communities. I embraced my love of learning, and I enjoyed wonderful fellowship. The classes challenged and stretched me, and especially the Pierce Fellowship was so significant. I had the opportunity to lead soul care groups and participate in spiritual formation retreats. And through these things, I began to understand and experience God on a deeper level. But the consequences of all that early stress remained in my body. And partway through my final internship this past fall, I became sick again. This meant I had to give up my internship and take time to rest. Resting felt impossible. I was afraid I might not graduate on time. I didn't know how long I'd be unable to work. My way of coping has always involved planning, organizing, and structuring. Illness makes this impossible. So all my idols were taken away: control, expectations, image, perfectionism. God, in his wisdom, knew that the illness would bring healing to my soul. I had no choice but to lean on him and trust his plans. And God knew that this spring, returning to that internship, I would be far better equipped to face the challenge of hospice bereavement counseling. Still, the internship hit me hard, hearing so many stories of grief and loss. Out of nowhere, I started to feel shaken in my faith. It was an unfamiliar experience. I spent several weeks this spring wrestling with doubts, with a sense of disconnection from God on a deeper level than ever before. But before my last weekend class, while I was still wrestling with those doubts, in chapel, Dr. Fairbairn talked about Jesus on the road to Emmaus. And he explained that Jesus gave the most brilliant theological exposition of Old Testament prophecy ever, but the disciples didn't recognize him. They couldn't see him. It wasn't until Jesus broke bread that the disciples truly saw him and understood his presence. It was timely, because there in chapel, when I took the bread and I dipped it in the wine, I thanked God for being present even when I couldn't see him. And I thanked him for sacraments that remind me of his presence in the depths of my soul. So through my time at Gordon-Conwell, God has brought me to my knees. He showed me that in my weakness, both physical and spiritual, he is strong. So I pray God will continue to bring me to my knees. May God do the same for each of you. Thank you.